Brian Johnson is a 45-year-old billionaire. He created Venmo and sold it when he was 21, and he found out he had too much time and money on his hands. So he has created Blueprint, a regimen for reversing the aging process. And he believes that he can somehow get back to the 18-year-old boy that he once was. Part of this regimen is injecting his teenage son's blood plasma into his body. And he claims that this has positive effects.
My question is, how did that conversation first come up? Like, hey, son.
No, okay, so he said this happened because he first donated his plasma to his dad in the same, like, experimental way. And then when his son found out about this, he was like, hey, can I try it? And he believes that this is helping him, literally reverse the aging process, turn back the clock so he can become 18 years old again. It would be one thing if he just said, we're doing an experiment, we're seeing if it could help us, have better health outcomes. It's not that big of a deal. But rather he's like describing it like it's an emotional bonding thing.
Look at the second picture of him right there. There's the picture of him and his kid. And
let's show some pictures
him
of this
with
guy.
that shirt. The reason that he says the stuff that he says is because of what makes him decide that that's a shirt is a good idea to wear. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
All this weird, crazy, like eccentric stuff. It's all part of the package. He's a nutbag.
Christian was saying the same thing about that shirt. Not a good shirt.
Yeah, that shirt right there says, you can expect me to say something absolutely batshit crazy very soon.
Imagine
Also,
the shirts
like,
you rejected.
Right, yeah, right.
I don't think it's a great idea after Theranos to take the picture holding the vial of blood like that, looking crazed into the camera. He's like the male Elizabeth Holmes or some weird love child between Gwyneth Paltrow and Patrick Bateman. That's how I would best describe him.
I'm sorry, but my favorite part is, like, we talk a lot on this show about, like, people who look younger, people who look older. This guy's whole thing is that he wants to look younger. He looks exactly his age. Yeah, he looks like if you looked up 45 years old in the dictionary, it's a picture of this dude.
Right. If this guy thinks he looks a day younger than 45, he is absolutely off his rocker.
Yes.
Listen, I want to look at what Paul Rudd is eating in his regimen. I'm on it because that dude doesn't age.
Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe.
Another thing this guy does is he eats 111 pills per day.
Yum.
Oh.
That's a meal.
Yum.
I eat 4
really
a day. I get a
healthy.
heartburn. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What is just what, supplements?
Supplements and other unspecified drugs, whatever they are.
Put them on a plate. That would be like heaping, like a big bowl of spaghetti. But pills.
Yes, yeah.
It's
What is
disgusting.
what is it in our society that has this deep sea, like, especially I guess in Hollywood and people of levels of wealth and fame, to stay young, an unbelievable desire to stay young?
Well, I get that because as you get older, you change, and there's always someone younger and better looking behind you.
Getting older sucks.
It sucks. I mean, between the physical pain, but also just your look.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're going to see Tom Cruise very quietly start to de-age himself over the next 10 years.
Oh,
and
the
I don't
movies.
know. I mean, I don't know if they may not announce it. He's gonna be the same. I think
he just never like ages because they never allow him to age in the movies. That's freaking perfect.
He's almost 60 now, right?
He's 60. Might be 61. He's 60 or 61.
$20 super chat right there.
It's not showing up for me.
Oh, okay. It's from Bullet Shepherd. Says, Phil, your tweet to that dude about the Afghan pullout telling him to go beyond bumper sticker libertarianism was the highlight of my day. I have to tell libertarians that all the time because they are so naive and purist.
Yeah, and that guy, I think he means well, but he is engagement farming, and he does it by just putting out, what essentially are just libertarian truisms or platitudes. There's no thought in anything that he puts out.
What did he say?
He said something about the pullout, I said something about the pullout. I said that the pullout that Biden did last year, 2 years ago, was handled badly. And
that's what she said.
He had a take that was like, oh well, you're saying that we should have stayed in there, and I was like, no, I'm saying that it was that the strategy to leave was right, but the tactics and the method was wrong. And he kept acting like I was saying it was a bad idea.
Because
So-
you said you get rid of you're supposed to evacuate personnel before you evacuate the military.
Yeah,
right?
you keep the gun. The guys with the guns stay on the ground, and when you decide you're going to leave, all the guys that had guns that were not pointing them at the Afghans, they all get around you in a circle and they point guns outward while you leave, and then they point the guns at everybody while they get in the planes and leave. That's how you leave in a place where people want to throw bombs and shoot at you, and like that's what you do. And you know, that's not what happened. And this particular guy, Josh, he was poking and engagement farming, but he does that constantly. They're just super bad. Well, not bad, but they're super simple ideas that, you know, are best on bumper stickers.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Biden has a weak pullout game.
He does.
So, true. Look,
Speaking of which, this guy also tracks the number of nightly erections that he gets.
That is the best segue ever, by the way.
Ever!
Just married, you nailed it.
And he also, he's selling a course on penis rejuvenation. I'm not kidding. He's pitching this saying, "Listen here, shorty, the girth of my protocol will have your joystick at full salute and ready to gear shift like a toy soldier.
I already hate this.
I threw up in my
Sincerely,
mouth 8
Octagon
times.
Johnson."
God.
So at least he has a sense of humor about how crazy he is.
You know, to be fair, I think Rachel Zegler's a charmer compared to this guy.
that is fairly true. That is fairly true.
But I just can't imagine, like, how or why you would track such a thing and what it has to do with...
Well, I think why is because his obsession with use is likely obsession with his virility and with sexuality and with his own, like,
He already
mortality and
has
stuff.
progeny. He has a couple of
I
sons.
didn't
Like,
say that it was well, reasoned. I didn't say that I agree with them. I'm just, don't shoot the messenger here, there, Mary.
it's just the way that he comes off is, like, very unhinged,
Yes.
like burdened and depressed, but very detached from reality. Part of his routine is 4 to 5 hours of deep thought a day where he just sits there
Who has
and
that much
just
time?
thinks.
Yeah. Well, if you sell
Right.
Venmo and get $1 billion.
That is true.
You know.
That's
He
true.
has the time.
He does.
He
Believe
should
it.
obsess on wisdom and life lessons because he has neither. So he should.
Yeah. It's really weird that he's framing the blood plasma thing as like, we feel closer when we do this.
it's really creepy.
You could just say, it's a health experiment,
Or
but
just-
you had
Yeah.
to go there.
Yeah, like he could also do all of this stuff and still act like a normal human being that was born
Yeah.
of another human being and that came from Earth and stuff. But he wants to act like he's, a character from the future, like.
Here's my trick. Go play catch with your kid.
Right.
I think that'll work.
His obsession with immortality means that he's not going to actually live a life worth living. He thinks that he's going to live to 200. He said that.
The bad guys in the movies are the ones usually looking for immortality.
I mean, look, I will be the first person to say that one of the things that I really dislike the most about the idea of death is not getting to see what happens after I
my
die.
gosh,
Like
yeah.
all the cool shit that's going to happen after that I die that I'm going to miss out on knowing about. That's a drag, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I can get it because honestly, all the cool shit that I've seen in my life, I'm super excited to see what happens in the next 30, 40 years,
We have
right?
AI covers of Cartman singing "Bring Me to Life."
But like, so there is that, but some people the motive, I think
He doesn't even say, "Oh, it's so that I can be with my sons for as long as possible." It's
Yeah.
just completely a selfish endeavor.
I'm not sure what the motivation is for this guy.
Maybe we can
To
get
sell more products.
Yeah,
we can
right.
get an Eric Cartman version of Richmond, north of Richmond.
Yeah.
I'm sure you.
We need
you
that.
Probably could. You probably could right now. I bet there's probably an AI out there who could do it.
I just noticed that the bad guys in the movies tend to be the ones who are searching for immortality, and they go to unbelievable lengths, and they do very, very bad things while searching for it. So
And that would be used for what? Population control.
yes, so this guy just doesn't seem like the smartest guy, or doesn't seem like the nicest
He's
guy.
smart.
He's a smart
He's
guy.
just not
Yeah.
moral.
Or
Like-
human.
How do you feel about immortality?
I think that there are plenty of health technologies that are ethical and have led to longer life expectancy, but the attempt to actually change the human lifespan is different than trying to help people live longer in their natural lifespan. Yeah. There are plenty of things that people do to hurt their health that means you're going to shorten the lifespan that you naturally had.
And we've done so much with
so we have therapies and treatments for that.
Yeah.
But it's not a medical treatment to try to live 200 years.
Yeah. That's
something like eugenics.
Is the 200 years just like a off the top of his head number he just came up with? Like
it's modest.
At 201 years, he's like, I'm tired, I'm going to bed.
That's right.
Like,
I'm out of facelifts.
He's like, at 201 years, he's like, that's it. I'm
guys,
done.
believe it or not, this guy has trouble finding dates.
Oh, no.
It says his commitment to his routine, which includes an 8:30 p.m. bedtime, eating 2,250 calories once a day between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m., and 4 to 5 hours of concentrated thought, hasn't made him the most available romantic partner. He said, in circumstances where I've tried to date, the first thing I do is give them a list of 10 things. Like, here's all the things you're going to hate about me and all the things that are going to make me an impossible partner for you. It's a big deal.
Just 10?
Yeah.
I got 20 off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I wonder if this guy's going to end up with something.
He also hates snuggling because it interrupts his sleeping patterns.
That is the thing that is going to guarantee that no woman wants you. You need to fix that, homeboy.
He's like, I don't want to be the big spoon or the little spoon. I just want to live forever.
If you want a girlfriend, you better fix that real damn quick. How did you end up with a son?
2. I don't know where the mother is or what she's doing right now, but he has an ex-girlfriend who was a TV actress formerly, and I looked her up, and she seems to be sort of into this type of health, like she's frozen her stem cells. She created an AI clone of herself and makes AI music, sort of a wannabe Grimes, but I guess it didn't work out for them, and she ended up getting diagnosed with cancer, and he kicked her out of his house. So
what a bad person.
That's on her. That's on her. Come on.
Seriously, like what was she thinking? It's very depressing, these stories, but it makes sense. You've got all the money, you've got all the time.
Too much time.
You've got the vanity.
He looks, if anything, he looks older since he started all these weird therapies. If you look at a picture of him from 2018, he looked perfectly normal, healthy. Now he's got the weird box-dyed hair, the concealer under his eyes.
You could see the makeup.
Yeah, the makeup and the crop tops. He looks sort of like he's on HRT, if anything.
It's not HRT. Well, maybe.
But if you looked at this guy without knowing his age first, what would you guess?
There's one picture out of the pictures on that webpage where he's got a shirt off where he looks like he's young. Everything else he looks like he's 40s.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit like the actor Tamo Pennicott, a little bit, but in general, he looks exactly his age to me.
Yeah.
He looks his age. I find the whole thing depressing because it's just the things you can focus on when you've sold your company for hundreds
He
of
could be
millions
helping
of
so many
dollars.
people with his money.
He says,
Hey, we don't tell the rich people what to do with their money here. You spend your money on what you want to spend it on.
You could be doing a lot of
I've built my
hookers
life
low.
around sleep. That's the opposite of cultural norms. Most people will blow their bedtime if they want to go out with friends. He also quit drinking, so he doesn't do that. And he says, my son and I have a protocol in the house where there's no exchange of good morning or how are you.
He just sounds like a freaking blast. And he's having a hard time dating. You don't say no cuddling.
Yeah.
No breaking your fast when it comes to your bedtime. And you wake up and she says, "Good morning, honey," and he just doesn't respond.
No human activity.
Yeah.
No, he's
interrupting my concentrated thought.
To be fair, I wonder if Elon is anything like this.
No, Elon's working the entire time.
Yeah.
Working like literally all day.
Elon seems way more normal.
It's
Which is
that's saying something.
crazy.
Yeah.
He said, I probe myself to deep levels.
What?
But you can get knocked off so fast. Someone saying, how are you? How was your sleep can knock me off.
And he's like, I don't want to talk to you, plebeian.
He just seems like a bad person.
Yes, he does. He does.
Imagine bragging that you don't say hello or good morning to your son,
And
not having the awareness to think that might be a little weird.
And I'm not going to
Why
say
would
hello
you want to
for
live like this for 200 years?
And I'm not
Sounds
going to
like
say
hell.
hello for 200 years. like his son ends up the bad guy because normally a kid doesn't. A kid in a movie that ends up the bad guy because his dad didn't love him very much only has a dad that didn't love him for a couple of years. Now the kid's going to become a supervillain because he's like, I had a dad that didn't say he loved me for 200 years.
Yeah.
Not a good person, man. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.